Say there, Mr. Ghibli, what's that you're up to?
A damn sick note from one of my urchins. Now my entire project will be delayed.
Managing a project team can certainly be a most tiresome and trying bit of nuisance. But in the future, things will be very different. Computers, mobile phones, and something about clouds will transform project management.
What the devil are you gabbling about, Barley?
I've prepared a short movie reel about project management in the future, if you'd care to see.
No, I wouldn't.
Excellent. Roll film. In the future, mobile telephones will be commonplace, even for the working class.
Computers will have been invented, eradicating paper and giving the numbers men something to think about. Ooh, that's interesting. Colour will also have been invented, making charts both functional and pretty. Here's our project manager Jim, working on the latest plan. It's a chimney sweeping project for the local land baron. He's working out how many urchins he needs to do each task. And should he have another tea break in there? Suddenly, Jim's steely attention is interrupted by a message from Marjorie, one of his chimney sweep urchins. Being working class and a girl, Marjorie doesn't understand computers, but she can use her mobile telephone to send her message instead. These kids and their toys. Jim reads the message.
Oh, lordy lord, sir. My poor dear old mother has had a frightful accident. And I needs to go and visit her in hospital next week. Oh, please don't fire me, good sir. Please don't.
Jim consults his carefully laid out plan. Marjorie's message leaves him in a bit of a pickle. He can see that if Marjorie is not available for her assigned task, the whole project will be delayed past the due date. Now, Jim's client may be a reasonable man, but Jim prides himself on delivering top-notch chimney sweeping. He needs to find a replacement urchin for Marjorie. But does his team have capacity? Using the resource planner, Jim can see his team of urchins, senior urchins, and T-boys, as well as their number of working hours. Thankfully, he can see plenty of capacity left to solve his problem. Some of these kids are doing less than 70 hours a week. Ha! Jim, you soft touch. Jim can expand the planner to dig into the fine print. The handy color coding lets Jim know exactly what everyone is doing at any given time. Hurrah for color! Billable work, soft bookings, and even holidays are all displayed in their own individual hue. Not that there's any holidays here. These kids just love to work. Our planner is telling Jim that William seems to be free. He's only doing 40-hour weeks and therefore has plenty of free time. Huzzah! Jim can now go and softbook William onto the task, making sure that Marjorie's lack of priorities does not become a problem. Ha! Well done, William, and an extra piece of coal in your pay packet. All that's left to do now is send Marjorie's mother a get-well-soon present. Some flowers, perhaps, or some lipstick or makeup to make her feel better about herself. After all, she'll want to be on tip-top form for her transatlantic flight next month on an airship. Marjorie, of course, will have to be fired. So you see, Mr. Ghibli, project management in the future will be simpler, more efficient, and ultimately more profitable.
And how the devil does that help me now?
It doesn't. It is unlikely that this level of technology will ever exist in our lifetime, or at least for the next 1,000 years. Unfortunately for you, it's back to your pen and paper.
Alpha.
Okay, that's enough silliness for one webinar. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Denton, and I'm a Principal Solutions Engineer here at Certinia, formerly known as FinancialForce, as you might have noticed in that old found footage that I've just shown to you. A bit about Certinia. We are a software company that makes the leading professional services automation software on the market. It's designed to enhance your overall services business, every aspect of it, from the billing, the forecasting, resource management, time entry. It does everything all in one solution and will have a profound impact on your business. Which takes me to the topic for today. The whole point for this webinar is to talk to you about how the software is going to do things like improve your billable utilization, improve your profitability, all the forecasting aspects which most services companies typically lack and have a problem with, and really just all around improving your services business from beginning to end. So what we're going to run through today, I'm going to take you through a fairly brief demonstration end to end from an opportunity all the way through to billing. The software can do a hell of a lot. So obviously we don't have time to touch on every aspect, but if you like what you see, if things sort of pique your interest, please do get in touch. We're always happy to do something a little bit more deeper, a little bit richer, and show you more of what it has to offer. Okay. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. Hopefully this is all going to work all right. Let me share my screen with you guys. Hopefully that's come up for you and you're seeing my project management workspace. So I'm going to do most of the demonstration today as if I'm a project manager. Look, we're built natively on the Salesforce application. So typically linked in very nicely to the Salesforce CRM. So you can sort of run your services business all the way from the opportunity all the way through to delivery and close and billing. Logged into Certinia, Salesforce, it's all one environment. You might spot accounts, contacts, opportunities. You know, we think of those typically as coming from Salesforce CRM. And here's Certinia just parked alongside with projects and milestones and tasks. So really it's just one single solution, whether you're in sales, whether you're in delivery, whether you're in finance as well, if you want to use the financial aspects of Certinia, all one solution. You log in, you do what you need to do. It will bring up the relevant data and functionality for you. Okay, but I say I'm going to do everything as if I'm a project manager today. Now, as a project manager, when I log in, I've arrived on my project management workspace. I can see everything relevant to me and monitor the progress of all the projects I'm looking after. Little highlight cards to flag where things might not be going as we'd like. I've got my finger on the pulse of every single project under my control. All this data is updated in real time, so I know what percentage complete my projects are running at. I know what's been billed, what's my margin. I say as things happen, as projects progress, time cards come in, costs are logged. It's all updating in real time. So I really know at any point where my projects are tracking, and we can obviously have all these status flags to see what's going on. When we've got this combined viewpoint of my live projects, alongside things like opportunities that created them in the first place, we can really have a good consolidated view of everything that is happening within the business. So forecasting is particularly easy for us. We can provide a forecasted view of both resources and financials. If I jump into my revenue forecasting workspace here, this is a viewpoint of all my live projects, the revenue coming from my live projects, and where we're expecting to see the revenue. So that's all in the light blue there. But we can also consolidate that with the revenue we are going to forecast from the opportunities. So taking that Sales Cloud data as well, combining it into one viewpoint. And we can see that from the orange color here. That's the revenue forecast from opportunities. So you've really got a fantastic consolidated view of all your revenue across the business and can track it going forward. We can also see this different shade of blue here. That's our actuals. So that's the revenue that has been recognized. So you can do that all within Certinia as well to have a full comprehensive view of your revenue across time, what's been recognized, what is forthcoming, and of course what you're planning to work on in the future. All of this is all very filterable. You can drill into a particular region, a line of business, see all the projects assigned to a particular project manager. You've got a lot of control over what data you see and how you view it. Forecasting also, of course, relates to your resources. Do you have enough people to deliver on the work that you're forecasting, that you're planning to undertake? And again, we're looking at a consolidated view here. We can look at both the live projects that we have in flight at the moment, but potentially also bring in the planned work that's happening from the opportunity records. Again, that tight integration between Salesforce and Certinia. Here I'm looking at, do I have enough capacity based on the work? So I've got all my different roles here. So architect, consultant, and this would be different for every business, but this is what I've got in my company right now. And you can see that based on the work we have in flight at the moment, we have enough people to handle the workload. So our QA tester, we're a little bit overdrawn on QA testers across time here, but it's pretty small there. We're at this particular time period, -4 hours. So it's a busy period for our QA testers, but not unmanageable. However, this is only coming from the assigned work we have. If we bring in other values, as we might see from opportunities where we're planning people to work on projects, we can paint a bit of a different picture. Then we might not have enough trainers as well to handle the workload. We've got some problems with offshore consultants as well. So you can really see that having a consolidated view of both your live projects and your planned work as well is really giving you a total view of your capacity. Do you have enough people to manage all the work and potential work? Now, this, of course, is going to have a marked impact in our ability to deliver billable utilization in the future. We want to know if we've got some sort of spots where we could potentially do more work. We've got consultants here, maybe they've got capacity to take on additional work. We could maybe review our backlog and bring some work forward to sort of in these time periods to fill up and bring up that billable utilization. So just by knowing in advance what our billable utilization might be, we can already start to plan where we can make improvements and gains to drive revenue. Let's start on a project opportunity. So this is an opportunity record from Sales Cloud, Salesforce Sales Cloud. It's the same opportunity record. We just add our additional functionality into that record, additional data points and things you can do with the delivery side of the process in mind later on. You can see Certinia is bringing things like the resource plan and revenue forecasting, and of course the linked projects that might result from this opportunity. Now, when you're looking at your opportunity record, you're probably going to want to start planning out the work and sort of estimating for and creating the work breakdown structure to tell you how much to charge for this particular work. And you can use Certinia's services estimator to do this. We've got a range of estimates here already linked to this opportunity record. If I jump into one just to quickly show you this, this is where we can actually plan out the work we're going to deliver and how much we're going to charge for it. Now, here I am on my estimate, and you can see here my estimate builder. This is where we're plotting out what are we going to do for this customer. So it's effectively where you can build out your work breakdown structure, all the things you're going to deliver, the tasks you need to complete, the milestones, for example. And for every one of these tasks here, we can plot out, well, we've got some subtasks as well. So you can see a real hierarchy of work you're going to deliver. And then who is going to deliver this work? So the people, the roles that are involved. So for example, on this kickoff task here, we need a business analyst, trainer, architect, consultant, etc. And also the number of hours we're going to need them for. So really we're plotting out what are we going to do, who's going to do it, how many hours do we think it's going to take. Now, by virtue of this, it automatically drops in the financial aspects, bill rates and the charge rate. So if I just sort of demonstrate that, if I sort of make an adjustment there, you see it just automatically captures that detail and updates it for me. It's looking at rate tables in the background and pulling those in so that all I need to do is say, work out what are we going to do, who's going to do it, and how long will it take us to do. The system takes care of the rest for me. Okay, so in this way, it's very quick and easy to build up estimates, quotes for your customers, and get those out to the customer so you can get their sign off quickly, get things moving, get it over to the delivery phase and start work. Of course, there's a whole lot more you can put into an estimate. And there's discounts, there's contingencies, you can look at actual resources, whole lot of things you can do to flesh out your estimate if you need to. That's just a very simple sort of look to show you what it might look like. Now, once we have that estimate all completed, of course, then that's tagged against the opportunity. It builds out our resource plan that we're thinking about or proposing, and that's all fueling those analytics that we saw just a moment ago, all that resource forecasting, all the revenue forecasting. It's all plotting it out there, all going towards your capacity planning. Okay. Now, once we win that opportunity, that project is going to get automatically created out of that estimate record. So we're not having to rekey it in. We're not having to type it all out again and putting all those tasks and all the people. We just click a button, it's automatically created. This one, of course, we've already done some work, already got some data in there so that we can sort of move things along. And you can see on my project record, a whole lot of information that I have in order to track the success of my project. I know the timeline. I've always got a perspective on the margin. Okay, so real-time perspective on margin, which we can track back against the plan. In fact, we have a full detail on the project financials within my project record. And so these are updated in real time as work is completed. We're taking all the time card entries from the people working on it, and we're updating our position. You can see here various aspects of the revenue on the left-hand side, the contract value. What have we billed so far? Any expenses we're charging? We have all that detailed out on our project financials, alongside all the cost elements. The cost for our internal resources or contractors, any expenses. So we always know where we are from a margin perspective. Now we're going to track that back, of course, against our planned margin from the estimate. Okay, so we know immediately if we're drifting off course from our plan. So here's our actual margin at 66.75. That's pretty healthy compared to our plan. But the system's also calculating where we're going to end up in the future, our projected margin. And for me, that's the most important one. Because if this one is going shy of our plan, we need to take some action. So the system is giving me, as PM, all the insights I need to take action if a project is drifting. I get the chance to maybe sort of make those tweaks, those changes to drive up that project margin. Maybe I can use some cheaper resources. Maybe I've got a resource actually on the project who's, struggling. Maybe they're logging too many hours and bumping up those costs. I always have that perspective so I can take action and just gain 1 or 2 extra points in margin for every project. Now, if I want to know what's happening in more detail with this project so I can make sure it's going to be successful, there's analytics for every single project. This is some analytics specifically relating to that project we were just looking at. So I can see here's my planned hours in red here. Here's my scheduled hours, what we were meant to do. And the blue is what was actually logged. So I can actually see that across the board for the timeline of this project, we've been consistently logging too many hours. Let's have a look at the details here. Okay, look, and it's every resource. Every resource is logging more hours than we planned, than we scheduled for it. Apart from Matteo, who's doing pretty well. But for a time and materials, probably not a big problem. For a fixed fee, of course, this is critical information to protect those margins. Okay, so we've always got the detail as to what we planned, what we were scheduled to do versus the actuals. And again, it's giving you that insight, that foresight to take action so we can protect our margins, even drive them up by maybe using some different resources if need be. Okay. Now, speaking of resources, we have a full perspective on everyone within the business. What are they doing? What are they working on? When is their free time? Who could maybe take on a few more sort of pieces of work so we can drive up that billable utilization? Here I am on the work planner. On the left-hand side, here are all my resources. I think I've got it filtered down at the moment to my Australian pool, so you can filter this to see whatever you wish. The color coding here tells me exactly what people are working on, if they're working their optimal hours, if they're underutilized, if they're overutilized, perhaps in risk of burnout. So green is good. Green's the right number of hours. Red here, I've got some, Bob here. Bob's working 45-hour weeks. Probably not ideal. I've got Chase here actually booked on nothing. So already you can see, if I can find work for Chase here across these weeks, we're going to really push up our billable utilization and gain those extra points and drive that extra revenue back to the business. As well as that, with Bob here, I can look at what he's working on. So he's working on 2 projects that are taking him over. He's working 35 hours on this one, 10 hours. He's doing too much. maybe we can then swap it out. Swap out this work to someone else, balance the utilization of the team, and again, make sure that we're optimizing everything. We're not having people working crazy hours, but we've also not got people on the bench. Okay, so this is a great tool for improving your billable utilization and gaining the extra revenue. And we find from feedback from our customers, from industry research, if you're using tools like this, you have that perspective on your resource pool, you'll typically gain on average around 3% in billable utilization. Okay, so have a think about the difference that could make to your top line revenue in terms of that billable utilization gain. Okay. When you think of utilization, you obviously want to keep tabs on that. You want to track that. Is it going up? Is it improving? There's full analytics around it to actually sort of give you those proven results. You know, we've got scheduled utilization, actuals, utilization across week. You can set targets for your teams. You can track everything. I can take it down to every single resource, you know, which resources are meeting their utilization targets, which ones, you know, maybe they're falling a little bit shy. We need to maybe have a word. We maybe need to give them more work, but you have that full perspective on everything and everyone going on in the business. Okay. So we're tracking everything against every project. We're making sure they're on time. We're making sure they're on budget. We've got that full perspective of the financials, all the resources working on the projects. We do, of course, need to bill for our projects. And again, you've got that full oversight of your billing for every project, whether it's time and materials, whether it's fixed fee. The workspace here will give me that detail. I can see overdue milestones, for example, time cards that have been unapproved and are stuck in the system. There's no reason for you to miss any revenue that is due to you. I've got aging reports here, so I can see, not looking too healthy at a minute, but I've got $5.2 million worth of time cards that are available to bill. If I look at my aging here, I've got 775K, that's 120 days worth of aging. Let's drill into that. It's all time cards. We just haven't billed time cards. They've been left there for 120 plus days. So obviously we want to get on top of that. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm seeing everything ready to bill. I'm taking account of every element of revenue that I can, making sure you're not leaving anything on the table. And from here, I can actually directly bill for my projects. You know, I can see everything that's ready to bill. I can generate billing at the account level, project level. We can schedule it, automate it, however you want to do it, so that you can make sure you're not missing a trick. Okay. So what this all means to you as a services business is, and I'm dipping a little bit into the financial side of Certinia right now. But what this means is the ability to track your entire business, your entire services business, all the financial elements, all the resourcing elements. If I look at a CFO overview here, we can track all the revenue across the entire business, track it against previous years, making sure we are doing better, continually growing, continually getting better. Track our margins, our expenses, and of course, EBITDA, to make sure we are a successful services company that is growing. Okay. That is a very short, sharp look at Certinia Professional Services Cloud. Hopefully you can see how it will give you the tools to make changes in your business that are going to make some improvements. You are going to drive billable utilization to get increased top line revenue, the profitability from tracking it from plan through to actuals in real time. So you can make those changes if you need to. The forecasting elements, revenue and resourcing, so that you can't be surprised by anything. It's all there for you. And along with the alert cards as well, to show you if something needs your attention. And you can see by having all this perspective on your projects and every single project, you'll have full control over projects delivered on time, to budget, and of course that goes to customer satisfaction. Okay. So hopefully that was interesting. I hope it was useful and valuable to you guys. Look, thank you for watching. Do appreciate it. Thank you to Cloudworks for giving us the opportunity to attend Werxfest. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you. And if you've got any questions, if you want to know more, please do get in touch. We'd be happy to chat. Thanks again. Talk soon. Bye-bye.